netlogger.org, the website to get the NetLogger software that I use for all of my nets. It's pre-programmed, can be used on Windows, Mac, and Linux. And if you have a QRZ.com XML account, you can put your login information in there and see the net in all of its glory as we run it. Once again, the NetLogger software is free, and the Westpark Radio Ops net begins in about 9 minutes. 9 minutes until net time. November 8 Whiskey Bravo, and I'll be standing by.
W8VPV. Repeater. Net.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KD8VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline, report number 2444, with a release date of Friday, August 30th, 2024, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. The ARRL discloses its $1 million payout to hackers. Yoda Camp wraps up in the Czech Republic, and come along on the first-time activation of a POTUS site that's underwater. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2444 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
Our top story takes us to Newington, Connecticut, where the ARRL now acknowledges that it resolved last spring's cyber hacking incident by paying a hefty ransom. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, brings us more details.
The ARRL has disclosed it agreed to a $1 million ransom payment to the hackers who disrupted its computers and servers on May 15th, stealing data and taking many of its services down. Writing on its webpage, the League described the attack as, quote, an act of organized crime, characterizing the initial demand payout as exorbitant in exchange for access to decryption tools. The ARRL said that the final amount was agreed upon only after extensive negotiation and that the sum and the price tag for restoring the systems is being covered by insurance. The ARRL said that although the hackers did not get any sensitive information from its members, it confirmed in July that the ransomware did access the personal data of an estimated 150 employees who have since been provided with free identity protection services. In July, the ARRL board created its Information Technology Advisory Committee. Members are being drawn from IT industry professionals, as well as those on the League staff and board who have experience in the field. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
As the summer wraps up in the Northern Hemisphere, so too does the youngsters on the air camp that took place in the Czech Republic. Jeremy Boots, G4NJH, has that story.
Camp has finished their week of immersion in amateur radio and friendship at the Youngsters on the Air camp on Friday the 23rd of August. Now all that's left is to remember the experience and to share it. Rhys Williams, M0WGY/AJ6XD, who represented the Radio Society of Great Britain at the camp, wrote a daily blog that recounts such daily activities as kit building, balloon launching, and operation of the special call sign OL24 YOTA. If you weren't one of the campers, you can read the blog and experience that memorable week vicariously in words and pictures. Visit the link in the text version of this week's Newsline script. The camp was organized by the Czech Radio Club and the Youth Working Group of IARU Region 1. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
In India, a missing man's family believed they'd never see him again until, 1 decade later, Hams helped bring him home. We have those details from Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
The headlines in local Indian media called the man dead for a decade, but the former mathematics teacher, said to be affected by mental illness, has been returned home to his father and other family members with the help of a network of amateur radio operators. Reports in the Times of India and the Deccan Herald said that area residents near the border of India and Bangladesh noticed a man standing by a large patch of wet soil, writing and solving mathematical problems there with a large stick. They told the newspapers that he seemed otherwise disoriented, which stirred their concern. The police were contacted and wanting to expand the search for family members beyond the immediate area, authorities reached out to the West Bengal Radio Club, which is known for its success in missing persons cases because of its connections among radio operators in India. At Barishnak Biswas VU2JFA, the secretary of the radio club told Newsline in a text message
recent board meeting of the ARRL, attendees paused to remember several silent keys from this year. One of them left her mark nationally as a tireless volunteer and radio enthusiast. We hear about her from Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
This past winter, Amateur Radio Digital Communications announced that Pat Nelson, KE0QXD, had recently joined their Conduct Review Committee. Familiar with her tireless spirit, they were looking forward to working with her. That partnership never happened. Pat died suddenly a few days later on January 29th. The contributions she could have made would have been the latest in an amateur radio tenure marked by creativity and a capacity for giving and volunteering. In Minneapolis and St. Paul, Pat had a long association with KFAI Radio, a community broadcast station, as a host and a volunteer. A certified specialist in IT, she also assisted with programming and ran a company, Nelson Works LLC, which provided computer training and support. When she joined the station, she became friends with Mike Stapp, KE0WW, a longtime ham who introduced her to amateur radio. For Pat, that marked another beginning. She became licensed in 2018, and her commitment grew over the years. In 2022, she produced and hosted a special program on KFAI in honor of International Women's Day, focusing on women active in amateur radio. Pat also became a volunteer examiner at the Aurora Amateur Radio Group and served on its VE advisory board. She was a lifetime member of the OMIC Amateur Radio Association, an international group founded in 1952 by black radio amateurs, and she had previously served the association as secretary. In January 2023, Pat became the first guest speaker at the National Radio Astronomy Observatory Ham Radio Project in Virginia, led by Jesse Alexander, WV2IFS. Supported by the ARDC, the project familiarizes students with amateur radio and the electromagnetic spectrum. Pat was 68. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Things have changed since the early years when ham radio operators stepped up to offer their communication skills during emergencies. The ARRL's emergency service, which began in 1935, in the midst of bringing some of its protocols up to date, as we hear from Randy Sly, W4XJ.
The Amateur Radio Emergency Service, or ARES, is being brought into alignment with many of the agencies it serves by adopting the National Incident Management System's Incident Command System. This is an initiative of the ARRL to update the training of its members to better meet the needs of its partners. A statement by the ARRL reads, "This is a first step towards our long-term goal of being recognized by our served partner agencies as the gold standard of volunteer communication support based upon ARES members' unique expertise and capabilities. The training has several levels and specialization areas to provide amateurs with a consistent track to advance their skills, as well as their understanding of emergency communications practices. The Incident Command System is used throughout government, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector to manage efficient deployment of assistance and cooperation in incidents such as severe weather or natural disasters." This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
It's time for you to identify your station. We are the Radio Newsline. Heard on 10 stations around the world, including the WW8 GM repeater of the General Motors Amateur Radio Club in Detroit, Michigan, Saturdays at 9 p.m. local time. At a recent meeting of council members in one Mississippi municipality, a seasoned emergency communicator was honored with a few moments in the spotlight. We hear about him from Don Wilbanks, AE5DW.
Tom Kelly, AB6Z of the Pearl River Emergency Amateur Radio League in Mississippi, was recognized at the top of the Picayune City Council agenda for his contribution to emergency services in the county. The retired Homeland Security professional, who has more than 4 decades in law enforcement, deploys communication assistance when it's needed by the fire and police chiefs. Tom described the League's plans and goals and explained the kind of training involved for League members who learn to dispatch and manage radio operators, deliver messages via radio, and read radar screens. Tom said the League is hoping to assist even more members in qualifying for their amateur radio licenses. in Picayune, Mississippi. This is Don Wilbanks, AE5DW.
You may not think of the electromagnetic spectrum as a museum exhibit, but one amateur radio club in Indiana put it on display and showed it in action at the Terre Haute Children's Museum recently. Andy Morrison, K9 AWM, tells us how it happened.
Laurel Tincher, program manager of the Terre Haute Children's Museum, called QRZ, in a manner of speaking, and the Wabash Valley Amateur Radio Association answered that call. She invited the club to present a day of hammer-related activity, showcase the kinds of things amateur radio do. To club president 9HX, 100 or so visitors on Saturday the 24th of August got that opportunity. They participated in a radio-related scavenger hunt and enjoyed activities that taught them a little more about Morse code. As the hams made QSOs on SSB using a remote-controlled HF station, the youngsters got a better understanding of what HF propagation can do. The visitors didn't just take away a better understanding of amateur radio. One lucky youngster won the random drawing for a small STEM robotics kit. According to Kevin, quite a few of them expressed an interest in working toward getting their license. This is Andy Morrison, K9 AWM.
A new type of transistor is in the works inside a U.S. campus laboratory. It is resilient and super fast, but for now, it's still a work in progress, as we hear from Cell MB, KB3TZD.
A new transistor in development inside a Massachusetts laboratory is said to be extremely tough and resilient, and offer super-fast switching while meeting or even exceeding industry standards. Researchers at MIT first announced the transistor's development in 2021 when they published the results of their study, which explored the use of an ultra-thin ferroelectric material made from boron nitride. The report was carried in the journal Science. Researchers wrote only of the possibilities. Now it is a reality. Working inside the laboratory, the scientists created that faster, more energy-efficient transistor, and they claim that even after 100 billion switches, there are no signs of degradation. Researchers told Popular Mechanics magazine that for electronic devices such as computers, this eliminates the need for selective storage on a chip. Scientists also say that boron nitride has another advantage. It remains stable over long periods of time because its polarization can be reversed when there is an electric field. The next reality, actually manufacturing it, could be a lot tougher. Scientists acknowledge that despite the great gains in this development, they still don't have a way to mass produce it. This is LMB, KB3TZD.
In the world of DX, there are two opportunities to get the South Cook Islands in your log. Listen for Bob, ZL1RS, calling QRZ on E51EME from Rarotonga, IOTA number OC-013, from the 23rd of August through to the 15th of September. His operation is mainly 6-meter FT8 using ionospheric propagation. He will also operate 6-meter EME using the Q65-60A mode from WSJTX. See QRZ.com for QSL details. You can also listen for Tom and to WLG, who will be on the air with the call sign E51WLG from Rarotonga, IOTA number OC-013, from the 1st through to the 8th of September. He will operate CW and digital modes on 40 through 10 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Listen for Giuseppe, IK5WWA, calling QRZ, as IM0C from San Pietro Island, IOTA number EU165, from the 1st through to the 15th of September on 40 through 2 meters. QSL via his home call. Harold DF2WO will be back in Burkina Faso, operating holiday style as XT2AW starting September 8th for about 14 days. Listen on 10 through 80 meters on single sideband and FT4. He will also be using the QO100 satellite. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Listen for the call sign TM40IPC from the 28th through to the 8th of September during the Paris Paralympic Games. The call sign is being operated by members of the Radiopole Associatif, REF 40, F4 KLM. QSL via F6DZU, and Logbook of the World. Late last year, Parks on the Air, or POTA, added more parks in the U.S. In Indiana, this meant that suddenly a yellow dot appeared on the map just off the shore of Porter Beach in the Indiana Dunes State Park. While initially this looked like a mistake, it turned out to be the J.D. Marshall Nature Preserve, U.S. 10256, the site of a Great Lakes cargo ship, which sunk in 1911. The park is completely underwater, accessible only by boat. Well, nothing excites a POTA activator more than seeing a 0 in the number of activations field on the website. That's when Eric Kurtz, KE9AEB, chief of the Ogden Dunes Volunteer Fire Department, started calling his friends. Kurtz told Newsline, quote, "I ended up creating a POTA account and realized that the J.D. Marshall was the only park in the state of Indiana that had never been activated. Being a lakefront community and being involved with the Volunteer Fire Department, we're fortunate that some of our members are boat owners and some of our members are amateur radio licensees, and I put those pieces together so that we could activate the J.D. Marshall," end quote. So, Assistant Fire Chief Dave Zach, a marina and boat owner, took 6 hams and their gear out onto Lake Michigan on Saturday, August 24th, and moored above the wreck. I was one of those hams. The hams got right to it, and in the space of a little under 3 hours had logged 118 contacts, including France. Active calls included K9 ODF, that's the Fire Department club call, as well as the personal calls of N9 ITB and WD9 GCO. Chris Latimer, N9 MMR, a member of the Fire Department and a founding member of the club, called it an amazing opportunity to be out on Lake Michigan operating an HF station from a boat. His son Tavis, KD9NSC, communications officer for the Fire Department, assembled the gear, tested everything beforehand, and handled contact logging. 2 others on board were Tommy Stesich, KE2CCX, and Jack Albert, N9ITB, an experienced activator and my POTA buddy. The group was awarded credit for the first activation of the park. And their very first contact? Well, it was a ham from New York with the call KD2GUT. That's right, our own Karen Eve Murray. Congratulations to all involved for an activation that went beyond expectations. Amateur radio is a varied hobby, and as we often say, whatever floats your boat is fine. Don't forget the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge if you're not too busy tuning your antennas or chasing the latest D-Expedition. Pick up a pencil and share your experience by sending an original haiku to us here at Newsline. Use the entry form on our website, arnewsline.org, and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku. Sorry, but we cannot accept any entries that are not written in traditional haiku form. Share with the fellow listeners the poetry that is inspired by your ham radio experience. With thanks to Amateur Radio Weekly, Amateur Radio Digital Communications, Ambar Shnag Biswa, the U2JFA, the ARRL, CQ Magazine, David Behar, K7DB, the Deccan Herald, 425DX News, Jesse Alexander, WB2IFS, Kevin Berlin, K9HX, Picayune Item, QRZ.com, Radio Society of Great Britain, shortwaveradio.de, the Times of India, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2024. All rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 9 minutes.
Amateur Radio Newsline, report number 2444, with a release date of Friday, August 30th, 2024, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. The ARRL discloses its $1 million payout to hackers. Yoda Camp wraps up in the Czech Republic, and come along on the first-time activation of a POTUS site that's underwater. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2444 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
Our top story takes us to Newington, Connecticut, where the ARRL now acknowledges that it resolved last spring's cyber hacking incident by paying a hefty ransom. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, brings us more details.
The ARRL has disclosed it agreed to a $1 million ransom payment to the hackers who disrupted its computers and servers on May 15th, stealing data and taking many of its services down. Writing on its webpage, the League described the attack as, quote, an act of organized crime, characterizing the initial demand payout as exorbitant in exchange for access to decryption tools. The ARRL said that the final amount was agreed upon only after extensive negotiation and that the sum and the price tag for restoring the systems is being covered by insurance. The ARRL said that although the hackers did not get any sensitive information from its members, it confirmed in July that the ransomware did access the personal data of an estimated 150 employees who have since been provided with free identity protection services. In July, the ARRL board created its Information Technology Advisory Committee. Members are being drawn from IT industry professionals, as well as those on the League staff and board who have experience in the field. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
As the summer wraps up in the Northern Hemisphere, so too does the youngsters on the air camp that took place in the Czech Republic. A missing man's family believed they'd never. Report number 2444, WD9GC. Amateur Radio Newsline, report number 2444, with a release date of 4. Amateur Radio Newsline, report number 2444.
W8VPV, repeater.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. This net meets every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. on the 147.27 repeater, which is linked into 444.85 using standard offsets and PL tone of 110.9 on both repeaters. This is an open and directed net, and all traffic will go through net control. Net control for this evening is W8VPV. My name is Greg. I'm located in Kent, and for purposes of the net, I will be using the club call W8VPV. As always, emergency traffic may break into the net at any time using your full call sign. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur radio related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date on club activities. Everyone is welcome on this net. You do not have to be a member of the club to check in. We also operate a Band Explorer net at 9:30 p.m. following this net. The approximate frequencies are posted on our webpage, www.cfarc.org. Tonight, the net will be on 6 meters at approximately 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. I will start with announcements and then check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. After that, I'll take check-ins 5 at a time, confirming each call before moving on to the next, and then I'll repeat that process for 5 more until we're done. Okay, local announcements here this evening. Right now I have no active watches or warnings in effect weather-wise. Tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, we'll have a meet and greet at the new club facility clubhouse, and then we'll meet with members of the CVT Model Railroad Club there. Once again, that's beginning at 6 o'clock. On September 11th, Cuyahoga Falls to the Field, or EOTA, everybody on the air, from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., and that will be held in lieu of our September meeting. You can get details on that on our website. The very next day on the 12th, session held at the Cuyahoga Falls Public Library, 2025 2nd Street in Cuyahoga Falls, beginning at 6 p.m. If you need to register for that, you can call ahead at 330-902-8921 or email at cfarc-edu.org/registration. So if you need somebody that's looking to take a test, you tip them off to that. The Akron Aries group is looking for volunteers to work the Akron Marathon, which will be on the 28th of September from 0600 to 1400. You can get details on that at the website at www.summitares.org. That's all I got. I'll repeat those announcements at the end of the net. And at this time, I'll take check-ins from any officer or member of the club who has an announcement or general interest to the club. Okay, nothing heard. Begin taking check-ins 5 at a time. Who'd like to be number 1 here this evening?
Whiskey 8, Echo Zulu Tango. Bill.
Okay, W8DCT, evening Frank, got you on the list. Who'd like to be next?
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Bravo Foxtrot Tango, Bill.
Okay, KF8BFT, Bill, good evening, got you on the list. Who's next?
E8, KBI, in and out.
Okay, KB8, KBI, in and out, got you on the list. Thank you much. Anybody else?
3X, Whiskey Oscar 3 X-ray.
Okay, W3X, John got you on the list. Need one more.
Alpha Charlie 8, X-ray Oscar.
X-ray Oscar got you on the list. Okay, there's my fives. Go up top of the list, work our way down. W8VPV. Frank, good evening. Go right ahead.
Good evening, Greg. Good to hear you in there. Hope you had a great Labor Day. You did a great job on the announcements, so I'm just kind of repeating it in case somebody might have missed it on the front end. We do have a get-together at the clubhouse tomorrow, 6 p.m. No food that I'm aware of. We'll have some water and pop, and it's just a chance to look over what we've done. We've got some new lights in the upstairs area, meet the train club members, and get an idea of who we'll be sharing the building with. The following Wednesday, a week from, I think it's the 11th, Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, we have everybody on the air, again, going out to the parks, activating a local Summit County park, and I believe there are several other clubs in the both Portage County, Summit County, and maybe even up north will be trying to participate, so should have a lot of activity there. And as you said, on the 12th, we've got the VE session coming up also. That's all I got, Greg. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. Hope to see a lot of people there tomorrow at the clubhouse. This is Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango, back to the net.
Okay, thank you, Frank. We'll see you there tomorrow evening, around 6 or so. All right, next on the list, KF8BFT. Bill, good evening. Go right ahead.
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Bravo Foxtrot Tango. First off, wishing everybody a happy Labor Day. Hopefully our labors were limited. But anyway, looking forward to the meet and greet at the clubhouse. And I do have a question, and I don't know who would be the one to answer it, but has the new antenna been installed for our net? And if not, do we need help? And I'm willing to offer some help. Back.
Bill, we'll look forward to seeing you there tomorrow evening. W8VPV, Frank, any movement there on the new antenna yet? Bill, let me get back to you on that. Frank must have stepped away from the mic here for a moment.
That's good. Kilo Foxtrot 8, Bravo Foxtrot Tango, back to net.
Okay. Frank, was that you? Let's move down the list here. W3X, John, good evening. Good to hear you again. What you got?
Good evening, Greg, and all on the net. This is W3X. Regarding the antenna, we have it on the table in the clubhouse, as you know, Frank has the aluminum ground plane rods, and he's going to drill holes in it to match the holes of the ones that came with it. The ones that came with it are hollow, and you gave him solid rods. That's the story on that. And then we are going to put it together. And do some waterproofing to it, according to an article that we have. So that's the word on that. And let's see. Yeah, on my end here, regarding the 6-meter net. When I was checking into the N8XPK 6-meter multi-state net yesterday evening, I had a problem with the fuse again on the ICOM IC756PRO, and here what happens with the fuses that I have in there is that the fuse doesn't blow. The end cap gets disconnected from the fuse element, and so the fuse opens up. So while I was online yesterday evening looking for fuses, I found them at a nearby auto parts supply place, and there were reviews on those fuses, and one of the reviews said that their car had a problem with a fuse that had done the same thing. You couldn't tell that it was not conducting because it's a glass fuse, but the element wasn't blown. So that there again, the problem was in the end cap. So I went to that place and I bought new fuses today, and it has one in the ground side and the plus side. So I replaced both of them. So with these new fuses. So I replaced with those fuses with the new fuses. So I shouldn't have any problem anymore with that radio and the fuses blowing. So with that, back to the net. This is W03X.
Okay, John. Interesting you brought that up. My dad had trouble with his Explorer 7 years ago, same thing. And kind of pestered the dickens out of him trying to find him. KF8BFT. Bill got no movement on the antenna. I'm just going to do a little waterproofing and some testing on it there. We'll try to put something out when we're ready to stick her up there in the air.
Copy that. This is KF8BFT. I'm available as long as it's not raining and creek don't rise. Give me a holler and I can make assistance with getting that installed.
Okay, keep you advised on that whenever we get a party together, put that up in the air. Okay, next on the list, AC8XO. Vince, good evening. What do you got for us?
Good evening, Greg, everybody else on the net. Not a whole heck of a lot. The newsletter went out this evening, late this afternoon, whatever you want to call it. Sent it to Anthony, and it's out for everyone to peruse. Other than that, I am headed to Newfoundland, and I will be back at the end of the month, so people get their articles in. I will not be on the net for the next few weeks. This is AC8XO back to net.
Vince, well, give a gander there at the newsletter. Have a good trip, safe trip, and a good vacation. I'll talk to you when you get back. All right, down at the bottom of the list, looking for 5 more check-ins. This is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club VHF UHF Monday Night Net. Station wish to check in at this time, please call W8VPV.
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Alpha Victor Delta. This is Tony down the Merriman Valley.
WD8MJS.
Okay, evening, Tony. KF8AVD, got you on the list. And the other station ending in MJF, once again, please.
Whiskey Delta 8, Mike Juliet Sierra.
Okay, WD8MJS, got you on the list. Thanks for stopping by this evening. We'll be right back to you. Anybody else?
Kilo Alpha 8, Whiskey Tango Kilo. Bill in Talmadge.
November 8, Bravo Alpha Yankee, N8VAY, Ralph and Stowe, in and out.
got you on the list. Good evening, and good evening, Ralph, N8BAY up there in Stowe. Got you in and out and listening. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Anybody else? Welcome back to the list here. KF8AVD. Tony, good evening. Go right ahead.
Hey, thank you. Not a lot to report, but I am using a new headset and foot pedal, so if anyone wants to give me a signal check, that would be great. And also, remember, anybody that passes their general, the next person, gets a portable operating for amateur radio ARRL book from me for free.
Tony. Everything, okay, got everything down on that. Any questions there for Tony on that?
Yes, this is KF8VPV, Bill. I'm taking my general on the 12th, so I don't know if you're part of the VPs on that, but looking forward to seeing you.
Okay, Bill. Tony got KF8BFT is going to take his general there on the 12th with our VA exam, so you might have a taker there.
KF8AVD, hey, that would be awesome. All you got to do is look me up on QRZ, find my personal email, and just let me know if you passed. Good luck to you, man.
Tony, we'll be in touch there. All right, next on the list, W8VPV. Good evening. Welcome to the net. Go right ahead.
Not a whole lot going on. Just getting back from the Great Trail Festival, and had a chance to check out the electric brakes on the trailer, and I see I've got work to do there, but oh well, there's always little things. And wow, did the temperature drop quick.
Yeah, know what you mean. I've got the most clothes on right now that I've had on in weeks. Had to put on long pants and a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, fortunately, we got everything down and packed up before it got really started to get cold, but I noticed on the way back that I stopped for coffee and I went, whoa, what just happened? Oh well, anyhow, nothing else much to say, so turn it back over to the net.
Thanks for stopping by. I think it's supposed to warm up for the rest of the week, so cooler days are coming, to be sure. All right, let's see. Next on the list is W8VPV. Bill, good evening. Welcome to the net. Go ahead.
Good evening, Greg. The call is Kilo Alpha 8, Whiskey Tango Kilo. Everybody misses the A, don't worry about it. Not much going on here. We've spent the day working on antennas, replacing some hardware on a 10-meter beam and a 6-meter beam that I'm going to try and get up in the air this week. And just general working on that kind of stuff, clean up coax cables and whatnot. So not very eventful and not much work. Just steady pacing holiday stuff. So back to net control. W8VPV. KA8WTK.
Okay, thank you, Bill. KA8WTK. Made the correction. Thank you much on that. Yeah, getting me that time of year to get the antenna work done before the weather gets too cold anyway. All right, I had N8BAY, Ralph up there in Stowe. He's in and out and listening. Brings me down to the bottom of the list. I'll take 5 more for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. Please call W8VPV.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Bravo Foxtrot Tango recheck.
Okay, KF8BFT check. Go ahead, Bill.
I forgot to share a little bit of, I'm a new cam and new club member, but I've had a rather exciting month here. I've actually contacted 5 countries. I talked to Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Brazil, Argentina, an unconfirmed Chile, and several in the United States over on the West Coast. And I've really enjoyed the process of getting to know these people and getting set up in QRZ and the world log book. So just wanted to share that. I'm having an awesome time. Back to net.
All right, Bill. We usually have a gentleman at ACP, Chris. He usually checks in and lets us know what's going on out there. The propagation is very good right now. So as a new ham, it's good to see you getting your feet wet there and make as many new contacts as you can. There's something for everybody in this hobby, at least that's what I always say. So I'm glad you're able to enjoy it as best you can. Okay, let me take 5 more check-ins for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night VHF UHF Net called W8VPV.
KE8YR, mark up and hut it in and out, Greg.
Okay, KE8IR, Mark got you on there, in and out. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Kilo Echo 8, uniformly Charlie. This is Kurt, Cuyahoga Falls.
Okay, evening, Kurt. KE8ULC, got you on the list. Be right back to you. Anybody else? Okay, Kurt. KE8ULC. We're a short list here tonight due to the holiday. We're down to you already. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Frank. I'll see you tomorrow night. I hope to talk to you about the window pass-throughs, setting up antennas and grounds at the clubhouse. This is Kurt at Kappa Echo 8, uniformly with Charlie.
All right, so look forward to putting a face to the call sign and a voice here. I don't think we've met before, so look forward to seeing you there tomorrow evening. Okay, I'm looking for 3 more check-ins for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club VHF UHF Net.
This is Kilo 8, Bravo India, Bill in Cuyahoga Falls. You can mark me in and out.
Okay, K8BI, Bill got you in and out. Usually hearing you on the DMR net. Listen for you there next Monday. Okay, let's see. Need 2 more. Okay, looks like the holiday has gotten into our check-ins this evening. That's all right. Getting back over the announcements here. Tomorrow evening, we have a meet and greet at the clubhouse for members of the club and members of the Cuyahoga Valley Terminal Model Railroad Club. It'll be over the new clubhouse here beginning at 6 o'clock. On September 11th, we have the Cuyahoga Falls to the Field, or the Everybody on the Air exercise from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. That'll be held in lieu of our September meeting. Get details on that on our website, www.cfarc.org. On the 12th, we have a VE session at the Cuyahoga Falls Public Library, 2025 2nd Street, Cuyahoga Falls, here beginning at 6 p.m. Need to register on that, and you can do that by calling 330-928-8921 or on the web at cfarc-echo-delta-uniform.org/registration. And the Summit County Areas Group is looking for volunteers to help out with the Akron Marathon on the 28th from 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. Details, you can sign up on that at the website www.summitars.org. That's all we got for the announcements here this evening. Let's take one more standby and listen for any station wishing to check into the Falls Amateur Radio Club VHF UHF Monday Night Net. Please call W8VPV. Okay, I guess that'll do it for another Monday evening there. I'd like to thank everybody for spending a little bit of your Monday evening with us here on the radio. And with no further check-ins this evening, I'll close this session of the net at 8:56 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time with 13 check-ins, including net control. And with that, I will return the repeaters back to normal amateur use. Hope to see everybody down there at the clubhouse tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Having said that, this is W8VPV, signing the net clear. 73s, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
W8EZT, this is WO3X, over. WO3X, clear.
W8VPV, repeater.
Today, I'm going to show you an easy way to install
Port link off. W8VPV repeater.
Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night Band Exploration Net. My name is John and my call is W03X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date about club happenings. The Band Exploration Net meets every Monday evening at 9:30 p.m. local time, preceded by the VHF-UHF net at 8:30 and Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. Check the calendar at www.cfarc.org to see the frequency and band of the Band Exploration Net on a particular Monday. When checking in, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. Also, let me know if you have any comments or traffic for the net, or if you're checking in and out. I will start with announcements and then call for officers or members who have items of special interest. After that, I will call for check-in. I'm just going to go one at a time for this net here, for the Band Exploration Net. When all have checked in, I will repeat the announcements. After that, I'll give one last call for check-ins and then close the net. Here are the announcements. The next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will not be a meeting. It will be an activity on September 11th, and that will be CFARC to the Field, and also called Everyone on the Air. So take a look at the website and you'll see that, and sign up to choose if you're going to go to a park, a Summit County park, go to the link that's in the website about that and choose an entity to go to, and but if you're going to work or operate from home, then sign up and say that you're going to operate from home. Let's see, and so the permitted contact for that is park to park, park to home, and home to park. But home to home doesn't count as a valid contact for that. Let's see here. Also, an important announcement. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club and the Cuyahoga Valley Terminal Model Railroad are going to meet at the clubhouse at 6 p.m. So there's not going to be any food there, but there'll be some water to drink. And so come on down and take a look at that, at what we have there. Again, that's 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. Let's see. On September 12th is a volunteer exam session. In the evening, the test starts at 6:30, If you know somebody that wants to take a test, or if you're listening and you want to take a test, go to our website, www.cfarc, click on the word education, and and then scroll down and you'll see the sign up for a test. And you have to pre-register for that and make sure that you have your FRN. Again, that's the test is on September 12th, so sign up before that so you can get the information performed in a timely manner. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements at this time. This is John W3X at the mic for Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Do we have any officers or members who have items of special interest? Please call now. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor calling for check-in. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor calling for check-in. Kilo Foxtrot 8 Alpha Victor, was that Alpha Victor Delta? Okay, thanks for checking in. How's my signal? Okay, very good. Thanks for that. Okay, KF8ABD in and out. Another check-in, please. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-in. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor calling for check-in. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-in. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor calling for check-in. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. I'm going to pause for a moment here, and I'm going to go to the 2-meter repeater, and announce that the net is in progress. This is W8VPV, Whiskey Oscar 3 X-ray. The name here is John at the mic. Calling for check-in for the Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Oh, come on. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor band exploration net. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor calling for check-ins for the band exploration net. Okay, well, I guess nobody's paying attention. Okay, so next week the band exploration net will be on 10 meters on or about 28.360 megahertz. W8VPV will be the net control station operating as Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, so with that, this is... In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank KF8AVD for checking in, who took the time to join us. As mentioned earlier, this band exploration net meets every Monday evening at 9:30 p.m. And as I mentioned, next week the frequency will be 28.360 megahertz upper sideband. Please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. This has been John, and my call is W8VPV, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal, customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:44 p.m. local time with 2 check-ins counting myself. 73